Hi everyone, it's your boy Zach, and I just finished watching Air Force One, and what the hell just happened? I mentioned it in a couple other videos, and nobody said, dude, because I talked about, oh, I just started, I'm halfway through it. It took me a couple days to finish it. What the? It's like every time you talk about Bone Tomahawk, people always say, oh, that one scene, watch it. Like, this. What the hell is this? So I mentioned in another video, obviously, I was alive and I remember when this came out. I was really, really poor, so going to any movie was a huge, like weeks long decision. And it was really popular. Everyone seemed to like it, but I didn't go because, first of all, Super President seemed silly. And also, like, it seemed like it was kind of like you're all stuck on a plane. Well, it's like it's a large plane, but oh god. So basically, this is a movie that starts as a drama, turns into an action movie, basically kills the villain, and they're like, shit. We only made it to like 100 minutes. Yeah, I mean you can't do that. It's a limited, set. Oh, jeez. No, we can't do a 100-minute Harrison Ford movie. Okay, so let's just make it a comedy. Let's just make it a freaking Warner Brothers, Wile E. Coyote cartoon. So the story is, this has been on a. Why does no one ever talk about how insane this movie is? Okay, so Harrison Ford is the president. One of the weird things is I remember this time well, but I was kind of confused because this feels like an '80s movie. It's very rah rah. It's very pro military, pro America, and then you've got like this uh, Republican super president. I'm like, was it really like 1997? Was that like where everyone's head was at? Because I don't remember that. But yeah, so Harrison Ford is the president, and there's this evil General Roddick. Oh my. Okay, actually, I probably should have guessed how stupid it was going to be from. I mean, it was fun. I liked it, but holy shit. So at the beginning, they have the General Roddick, and he's in Kazakhstan, and he's a really bad general who, if you don't arrest him, he's going to cause World War III, or if he gets released, feels like you would just nuke, like, I mean, not nuke, but just like bomb the shit out of his entire palace. If him just basically not being in jail is such a danger, but they send in these, super duper special forces guys. So you got soldiers on the roof of the presidential palace, and I'm like, okay, it's '90s, it's gonna be a little cheesy, and then I see the freaking laser. Oh my gosh, you see the little laser appear on their back, and you're like, no. Because they've shown the Spec Ops guys like going down in parachutes. They're like, those guys haven't landed yet. Please, in the name of Call of Duty, please tell me that they're not going to show the Spec Ops guys firing while descending. And the thing about the dot is like, it's barely moving around. It's the freaking laser designator is freaking like it's just moving back and forth like 2 inches. Whereas if you were, the funny thing is, I was talking to some friends and they're like, you can't pull off scenes like that in movies anymore because enough people have played, Call of Duty or Battlefield or whatever, where they've had a weapon, a little sniper mission where it's like, oh, put the laser designator, and you can see just by your character breathing how much it jumps. So yeah, so some freaking. So then they take all the bad guys. They go into the palace. They capture Radek. People are literally running down the hallway, jumping over dead bodies and shooting like from the hip. That like old weird way people used to shoot like submachine guns in like old James Bond movies. So they capture him. You're like, okay, whatever. And then we get like this super serial speech from Harrison Ford. It's like, we knew he existed, but we did nothing until it was in our self-interest. Well, we're gonna do it, and you're like, that's kind of what everyone does. And you sent in the A team, like literally. So then you're getting some revenge. So here's the deal. There was a lot of, kind of, die hard into this, die hard into that. This was Die Hard in Air Force One. So you're introducing the terrorists, and you're like, okay, I've kind of seen this, but you're like, how much action can there be? You can't have people just shoot machine guns on a plane. Oh, yeah, they just shoot it. They kind of just ignore that, you can't shoot guns in a plane. It's going to cause lots of problems. Whatever, fine. So for, there's the bad guy plot, and then there's this, escape pod, and they think the president is in it, but he's actually not. I still don't remember if it was like a choice for him to not go in it, or it was just some weird thing where it got launched too early. I don't remember. So anyway, they're like, your president has abandoned you, but we have his family. So then they start holding him hostage, but then he's on the plane. So we get about an hour of Die Hard in a plane. And, it's fine. Weirdly enough, the longer it went on, the more I liked it. And then, they, get off my plane, that line from the trailer. We're like 100 minutes in to like 2 hour, 7-minute movie. You're like, oh, are there going to be like a thing where, Gary Oldman isn't dead, and then he's back in, he goes to the White House, and Gary Oldman's in there. We're going to get like, oh, God, no, you just got to see it. So then the president's the only pilot. All of these military people and generals, and there's tons of, Air Force guys on there. But the pilot and the co-pilot and the flight engineer, and everyone was killed at the beginning, and then the Russians were killed. And so it's the president, and you're like, wait, the president's going to land the plane? Oh, that's pretty cheesy. But then you're like, wait, there's like 25 minutes left. So the president's flying, but then here comes some MiGs. Oh, freaking. And then so he's had a fighter escort, and they're like, sir, we're detecting some MiGs. And you got to see like the radar displays, like it looks like something from Street Fighter. So then their fighter escort, they're like, we're going to go take care of the MiGs. And then they fly off, and the MiGs come from like a totally different direction. They're like, where are you? So Air Force One gets taken out. It can still fly, but it's, out of fuel, and all the rudders and everything aren't working. So they're like, hey, we got this C-130 with some, pararescue guys. So they send them over, and I'm like, I think I know what they're going to do. They're going to, because we've already seen a in-flight refueling, and that was actually pretty good. Like, this could have been like a good 100-minute, Die Hard in a plane scenario. But so then I was like, okay, I know what they're going to do. They're going to have the C-130. They're going to go down to like the cockpit, and then they're going to blow out the windows, and they're going to line up the ramp with the window, and then they're going to have people, go out of it. Or it's going to be like some modified C-130 where the nose of the C-130 can go to the rear ramp of U.S. or Air Force One. You see what I'm saying? Oh, no. So they take this cable, this adamantium cable, and they do the C-130 to the side, like the regular door you go in, that side door near the cockpit, the regular way to get into a plane. And then they start like doing like, I don't know, what is it called? Not bungee jump. The thing people do like at like work retreats and stuff, where you grab onto the wire, you slide down it, and they're sliding this way, they're sliding, oh, one of those Secret Service guys, he's bad. By the way, this Secret Service guy who was sided with the terrorists, he was 100% gonna get away with that crime. Totally. All he had to do is just like, shit. They probably promised him like $1 million. He's like, well, I'm not gonna go to jail. But then he tries to kill the whatever. So, like, did I have fun? Yes. Is this movie absolutely insane? Absolutely. Why does no one ever talk about how crazy this movie is? Everyone just made it sound like a very formulaic, the 20th Die Hard in a blah. By that time, Die Hard had come out 10 years earlier, 9 or 10 years earlier. So that genre had really been done to death. And okay. They should have just like, sir, we're sending you pogo sticks. Super extra bouncy. Whatever. Jump out, and then you're going to bounce. Oh, okay. Cool. I had fun. This movie was more fun than anyone has ever said it was. The trailers, the advertisements, every single person who has ever seen it and had a conversation with me where they go, it was all right. Like, how do you watch the last 20 minutes and just go, it was all right? It was insane. Anyway, so thanks for watching, and I don't know. Maybe Jupiter Ascending? I walked out of it in the theaters. Can I finish it slowly over a week watching it on my phone?